thinks and treats people with obesity.
In other words, use our drug, take the stigma away from using a drug, just do it. Hello, beautiful people. It's Mama Goob. So, since Amberlyn Reed has not been giving us really anything to talk about, I figured we'd take a look at Glitter and Lasers, aka Anna O'Brien. Yesterday, she posted a video about her biggest health update yet. So, I want to take a look at this, not to rip on Anna at all. I love Glitter and Lasers. I love watching her hauls. I love it when she puts on an outfit that just transforms her and works with her, the colors work with her skin color. I just love that. But why I wanted to post this is, as you know, I went through weight loss surgery 8 years ago. It's going to be 9 soon. And I managed to get to my goal weight. So I'm hovering right now. As of this morning, I was like 163. So 150 was really my goal weight. So I still struggle with these last few pounds. But I want to say it as somebody who was formerly morbid. I was super morbidly obese. And, I want to make this video to show you that whatever avenue you need to take, you need to take. But I am not really reacting to this video as much as I'm translating it. So the only thing that bothered me about this video is I feel Anna's a little disingenuous. Now, this video is sponsored by Novo Nordisk, okay? They are the drug manufacturer for Wegovy. Wegovy's never mentioned in this video, nor is the fact that Anna is taking any medications to lose weight. She just doesn't say it. And I can imagine that the drug company probably didn't want her to do that. So I'm giving Anna a pass there. I don't know, but I'll get to it. The other thing that kind of bothers me is Anna has lost weight, I'm sure, but she's not telling us how much. Okay, so either it's Novo Nordisk's problem that they don't want her to mention it, or that she is still walking the line between fat acceptance and her getting her health in order. I feel like she's sort of minimizing the effect of her weight loss. I mean, because really, she's in a no-win situation with this, okay? Because half the people are going to hate her and half the people are going to love her. I am actually proud that she's come this far, but I just wish she would be a little bit more honest to what she's doing. So without further ado, let's see what this video is all about, in case you haven't watched it yet. I'll also have it linked in the description if you'd like to see the whole video without my commentary.
I'm coming at you live from Finland. I'm literally in a remote village in kind of the middle of nowhere, but it is absolutely beautiful. And what I'm realizing for this experience is that as little as like 3 months ago, I never would have been able to do this. And
well, you remember the last time she went to Finland, she had an issue with not having 2 plane seats. So
I think on my health journey, I've been updating you guys fairly regularly, and it kind of just hit me today that I kind of owed you guys another update. The reality is that right now, as of like this week, actually, all of my health conditions are managed. That means I'm taking medication. I've made changes in my lifestyle.
All right. So she does here cop to taking medication. Great.
To diminish the effects of these conditions on my life. And I'm aware of
but if you didn't know any better, you would assume that she's taking medication for Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune disease that she's been battling.
Able to make decisions with them in mind, right? I didn't even know what they were for a long time. And I'm just feeling incredibly grateful because I think that as someone who couldn't do as much as I've been able to do these last couple days, which is like lots of uphill hiking and just lots of physicality in general, I just don't want to take for granted all the progress I've had, because I feel myself coming back, and it's
the only other thing that I'm going to mention, and I think we're going to try to take a look at this after this video, she's been posting shorts of her working out for years. So it just goes to prove the disingenuous nature of YouTube, obviously. But I don't know. We'll get into that after this video, so stay tuned.
it's exciting. Like every day I feel like a little bit more me. I'm going to back up a little bit, but I felt like I owed you guys a health journey update, because I just feel like I'm in such a different space now, even since the last time we connected.
And she has over 1 million viewers, so she kind of does, as a face on YouTube, she kind of does owe us an update, but a truthful update would have been awesome.
That I need to fill you in. Now, for those of you that have like never watched a video about my health, or have no idea what I'm talking about, or you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, I'm Anna. About 9 months ago, I went to an event in Houston for It's Bigger Than Me. In case you're not familiar with it, It's Bigger Than Me is a movement actually sponsored by Novo Nordisk that is really on a mission to just change the way the world sees, thinks, and treats people with obesity.
In other words, use our drug, take the stigma away from using a drug, just do it. Which I'm honestly not totally opposed to. The only reason why I'm not more of a drug fan is you really do have to take it forever. I think you'd have a better chance at long-term success with weight loss surgery, because that effect, at least to me, is permanent. So, I mean, unless by some magic you learn how to control your eating, which is possible, then take the drugs. Or I know people that have weight loss surgery, just couldn't get over the hump of losing that extra, 50 pounds or so. So they take the drugs. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you got to do to get out of morbid obesity. But this program she's talking about is basically just a call for doctors to prescribe more drugs. That's the way I feel, guys. Sorry if you disagree.
By having open and shame-free discussions. So talking about the hard subjects that affect people like me, in order to make sure that we can receive the treatment we deserve.
Well, I agree with that, because there are some doctors in the world, I've not had one to this extreme, but basically they're like, lose 50 pounds, then come see me. That's not helpful, okay? Or they're like, well, why are you so heavy? Why don't you just, cut back on what you're eating and exercise? I'm here to tell you, for me, I couldn't do it. Sorry, guys, I couldn't do it. I had MS. It was getting really bad, and I had to cut my weight quick, okay? That was my health issue. So Anna has a whole host of other health issues, and, she had her, quote-unquote, come to Jesus moment, okay?
There was a whole bunch of panelists, and Queen Latifah actually was the host, talking about how obesity affects people's lives.
It does.
Stigma, all of that type of stuff. And I remember a doctor came to speak. Her name was Dr. Horn. And she talked about how we need to change the way we look at people with obesity. That we need to stop judging them or punishing them for their bodies.
Agreed.
And instead, get to the root of what's causing them to have excess weight.
True.
And I remember watching this, and to me, it just felt like a totally radical way to look at obesity.
Okay.
To treat it as like a disease and not like a moral failing or like a problem that I have. And I'll be honest.
So back when I got weight loss surgery 9-ish years ago, my surgeon didn't treat it as a moral failure. He treated it like a disease. I mean, this is nothing new, baby girl.
When I first heard it, it did make me a little uncomfortable because it was such a radical concept. Because
it's like her head has been in the sand for the last decade. Okay.
I felt villainized for being overweight.
Well,
I've also felt...
Yes, I'm sure she has, because she's, super morbidly obese and does bikini hauls. Of course she has. Not really nice. I've never vilified her for that. Like I said, I liked watching her hauls. And I wish somebody was like her back when I was a kid, because I'd probably be mentally healthier now had I not been afraid to show my body.
Villainized for saying I don't always feel great or that I might want to change my weight. And this presented obesity in a way that was very neutral, and that meant a lot to me.
Good.
So after that experience, I did a lot of work into finding a primary care physician that would listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I found an amazing doctor, and we got to the root of some health issues.
Good.
And it turns out that a lot of the issues I'm facing with my obesity are related to medical conditions that I have. I'm also going to caveat this.
Lipedema.
I am not a doctor. I am not an expert in
Hashimoto's.
I cannot diagnose you. I cannot suggest
of course.
Diet.
I am not a doctor either. I'm just telling you my own experience and what I think when I hear this.
Plan for you. I cannot suggest an exercise routine for you. That is not what this video is about.
Good.
And if that's what you're here for, like, I'm just not that person, and I'm never going to be that person. But what I can say is that finding that doctor that listened to me, heard me, and took in consideration my needs and my goals was the difference in basically changing my life. Like, I literally owe a lot to that doctor.
Good.
And I sometimes think if I hadn't seen him, I mean, when I saw him and I got some of my medical tests back, like, I was pretty bad off, to be honest.
She was.
And I was like, it was very overwhelmed. And if he hadn't been so kind and so patient, I don't know if I would have addressed everything I addressed, because it was a lot to take on an appointment. And even though it was a lot, and even though it was really scary, it was so worth it. I would never want to live with what I lived with.
Yeah.
For so long.
So if you guys haven't seen it, there are videos out there. I'll try to link them if I can find them. I feel like it was late summer last year where she was talking about how she felt like she needed to go to the doctor, but she wouldn't. That's a really kind of eye-opening video. I will try to find it and link it, because, I mean, she really has genuinely come a long way. I mean, from being afraid to going to the doctor to now being on the road to health, she should be commended for that.
I could stop anybody else for living with things that they don't have to suffer through.
Right.
I would. And so it's really interesting. Now it's, 9 months later from an event that changed my life.
Right.
I get a call from It's Bigger Than Me, and they're actually launching a program now to help doctors communicate that they are allies and that they're not going to be running their practices in a way that's biased towards individuals with weight.
Prescribe the drug.
They understand that this process of finding a doctor is really hard. So one of the things I'm actually really excited to share with you guys today is that It's Bigger Than Me is kind of taking a next step towards the future of healthcare. And what they're doing is they've created the Inclusive Obesity Care Initiative. Oh, that's a mouthful. But what it is amazing. Basically, they're calling on everybody to show their support for inclusive obesity care. And that care isn't just inclusive, it's compassionate. And I think that's a really important word.
Yeah.
Because you can treat a plus body, but to have and be sensitive to their needs is an important part of this process.
Yes, I agree.
The initiative is really centered around
prescribing a drug,
helping people take control of their health and form long-term.
Listen, I'm joking here, kind of half joking. If this is what it takes because you don't want surgery or you have to decide, please go to that website and check it out, guys, because at the end of the day, I want to see everybody healthy.
Relationships with their healthcare providers, which is honestly what it takes to build a healthy lifestyle. It doesn't happen overnight.
Nope.
And you need to be a team with your healthcare provider. And you can't have that if you're not having open and honest conversations with your healthcare provider. And if you don't feel like they're going to listen to you.
Right.
And I think it all stems from this idea of treat it like a health issue, not like a personal failure.
100 and 1,000%. It's really, I mean, it's really not a moral failure. All right, I know gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins, but Believe me, I know of no one, maybe some of these feeders out there who are trying to get fat on purpose. Nobody wants to be like this, guys. It's hard, and it's hard to stop. All right? So I agree, but this is nothing new. This isn't. You always have had to find a doctor who's an ally, right? So my story is my neurologist, who I was seeing for my multiple sclerosis, saw that I was super struggling and like on the road to having to use a walker. Okay, it was bad. So he finally said to me one day, look, I know you've tried to lose weight, because I actually went to him because there was another weight loss drug at the time. I believe they were pills. And I had asked him if I could take those pills with my multiple sclerosis medicine. And he's like, absolutely not. I was on Gilenya at the time, and he's like, these are very powerful drugs. You have to be very careful what you take with them. So he's like, look, why don't you just look into weight loss surgery? And I was pissed. I'm like, who the hell is he to tell me I need to go under the knife? And I sat with it a few days. And then, like, just maybe less than a week later, I'm on the phone with different bariatric surgeons playing the game of who can get me an appointment first. Because when Mama Goob decides she wants to do something, Mama Goob gonna do it right away. So I got in first with the doctor that is very close to me. And, I met with them, their practice. I listened. They told me what the plan was. And, I was like, again, pissed. I'm like, I cannot believe I have to cut out a portion of my stomach for this. This is bullshit. And I'm going to show my neurologist that this isn't going to help at all. So anyways, I went through the process. I went through the insurance hoops, did all the pre-testing, pretty much cried through the whole process. I used to call myself the brave little toaster. And I got the weight loss surgery, and by the holidays, I was like a new person. So September 16th to, the holidays, I was a new person. I was walking around, life was good. My neurologist was right. But that is the key. You have to find a doctor that will take you seriously. I saw a couple neurologists before I settled on this one, right? So that's what you have to do. I knew that without itsbiggerthanme.com back in, the day. But either way, anything that we can do to get people to take their health seriously, I'm on board with. But, Anna, be honest.
And I think that really looking at it from a medical perspective can ensure people get treated fairly. So with this whole thing, they've created an ally marker that basically signifies, like, I am someone that supports the idea that obesity care should be inclusive
and prescribes the drug.
Non-judgmental, and that you should work in tandem with your patient to find solutions
that
help them live a healthier life. And most importantly, it's not something you should have to deal with on your own. You're going to need help, and your doctor should support you in it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about ensuring that healthcare is better for bodies of all sizes.
Agreed.
And that care is inclusive and compassionate, which is honestly what we all want.
Well, right, because even skinny people have doctors who aren't compassionate. There's some doctors who are assholes, guys. Hello. But actually, it depends. So some of the asshole doctors are some of the best doctors too. At the end of the day, like Papa Goob has a doctor who's a complete dick, but he gets a job done. And really, at the end of the day, that's all we care about.
We just want to be seen and heard at the doctor. And I am living proof that when that happens, you can have things really change for you. And I'm excited that they're doing this. I feel like it's actually going to help so many people. As I said, finding the right doctor was really like the linchpin for me. It was the part that changed everything. And from that, I progressed. The next step was reintegrating movement, right? And I think, like I said,
this is not medical advice. Again, I'm not giving you medical advice either. I'm talking about myself. Now, she's going to talk about, working out and such, which is great, but I feel like a lot of her workouts are centered on, look at me, I can do this, rather than genuinely for her health. Because somebody at her size, I wouldn't expect to see that kind of workout. Number one, it increases your appetite, and nobody's going to tell me it doesn't because I lived it. But I would have loved to seen her take nice brisk walks, or just a slower walk and do like a walk and talk, where she gets her camera out and she vlogs that way. That I would have loved to see. But that's not what we have with Anna. We have her showing off her workout clothes and hitting it hard in the gym.
That this trip has really made it clear that, like, I was not in a great place before. There is no way I could do this. And to be really honest, like, some of the activities we've done here, I had a little bit of nervousness that I wouldn't be able to complete. And I surprised myself, which was like
good,
pretty awesome. And that came by finding movement in the beginning that was simple and comfortable for me to do, that I could do
like squats.
And you're going to hear me say the word consistently all the time, because honestly, that's the word I live by. I don't look at how much weight I've lost. I don't look at how much muscle I've built. I've looked at how consistent I've been with my habits, because I think when you focus on building patterns, at least for me, that's been key to like my change. And I see that consistency has paid off, and it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Good.
To do more than I thought I was capable of.
Agreed.
So in tandem with movement, I did also change what I eat. I'm not on a diet. I don't restrict myself to a certain number of calories a day, but I do think about food as fuel. So I eat more carbs if I know I'm going to work out or I'm going to have a really active day the next day.
Which is probably why she's not losing rapidly, which again, look, if you're 30 pounds overweight, no, you cannot lose weight rapidly, okay? But when you're this big, you really should be losing quickly just to get yourself down to like just the morbidly obese level. That's just my opinion, and that's how, what worked for me.
I try to just really focus on getting good amounts of protein, because as my body is gaining more muscle and as it's changing literally, I just want to make sure that I maintain my muscle. And that's
Agreed.
something that I talk to my doctor about a lot, is maintaining my muscle, because if I lose my muscle just to be smaller, then I'm taking away my strength, and I want to be strong. That's something that's really important to me, is to remain strong. And that's why I'm always in the gym doing my squats, because it's important to me. I've also changed how I socialize. I used to go out to eat a lot, and I used to drink a lot. I think I've mentioned this on
Ooh, she's admitted.
videos. I really don't drink anymore. I don't try to go out to eat with friends as often. I try more to go on walks,
good,
or hikes, or adventures. Or
very
explore.
good.
And that includes
and it's cheaper.
When I see my family and friends, I'm planning more active activities.
Good.
Versus planning more food or, sitting down activities. Because I think it's important that if this is how my life is going to be, then it needs to be that way when people come into town, just as much as it needs to be that way when they're out of town. And creating that perfect bubble in a silo is really easy. But if I can't maintain it for the rest of my life, then what's the point?
Agreed.
Right? What's the point? And the last thing that I've done is I've stopped apologizing for changing. This is probably the first thing I worked on.
This is where she's going to appease the fat activists somehow.
But I don't think I ever really got to the point where I stopped feeling bad about working on my body until just recently, to be really honest. And some days I still struggle with it. I think that there are a lot of different mixed messages about working on your health. And I think when bodies change, people immediately assume that you're doing it in an improper way, or that you're...
Only the fat activists, girl. 99% of us who aren't fat activists, because they're a very small population, but they're very loud. But anyways, most of common people with common sense, at least me, will understand when you're super morbidly obese, dropping weight. And personally, at this level, nothing is really unhealthy. I mean, especially when you're under the care of a doctor. And I guess you could take like a bunch of laxatives and stuff and diuretics, that would not be healthy. But if you're just dropping serious weight because you're on a low carb diet, You've gotten weight loss surgery. You are on one of these weight loss meds and limiting your calories. I don't know who worries about somebody like her. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care to hear their opinion because they're dumb.
Sacrificing other types of health for it. And I think that for the first time in my life, to be entirely candid, I don't feel like I'm making bad choices.
Okay.
I'm actually just like really proud of myself.
Yeah, so and that too, I would have loved to use a little bit more color to see what she was doing back then. Like, what exactly was she eating? Was she eating cake all day? I don't know. Was it the alcohol? Because the alcohol does tend to put on the pounds. People who've had weight loss surgery, you have to be mindful of that. That's the quickest way to gain it back is to start drinking alcohol. Just saying.
It took a really long time for me to stop apologizing for all the ways that I wasn't what people wanted me to be. I was too fat to be an influencer. I was...
Well, no. You have over 1 million viewers. Give me a fucking break. All right? So seriously, you're talking like we don't know. Okay? You're an influencer. Fine. You model plus size clothes. I think that's fantastic. Like I said, I wish that was around when I was a kid. I would have had a lot less mental problems today.
Too health conscious to be accepted in other communities. And I
Fat activists.
Have felt sometimes like I don't have a home in the internet world or just in real life.
Sure.
And I think by learning to stop apologizing for, you know, the changes I'm making and the things I want in life, I'm getting closer to finding the people that have the same values as I do, but also to like a place where I just feel happier.
Good.
I see so many people commenting on how different I look, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not sick anymore. I'm getting healthy.
Good. Yep.
And that felt really impossible. And I also felt I blamed so many things on my weight.
Yes. Agreed.
So many things on my weight.
Yep.
And when it got down to it, that blame wasn't well served. That didn't do anything for me.
Agreed.
So when I stopped blaming myself and instead said, I'm just going to do the best I can with what I got.
Good.
It's like something clicked. It's like something clicked and my whole life is changing and it's just beautiful. And I thought I was happy before. I really did. But man, the level of happiness I feel now is like, I am becoming a type of person I never thought I could be, but always wanted to.
Good.
And I am so proud of myself. I could sit here and tell you how much weight I've lost, and I have lost quite a bit of weight.
But she won't.
Maybe not as much as people think I should lose, but also I'm doing this in a very healthy way, so rapid weight loss is not usually the target.
It should be, but okay, I'll take it.
But I think what's more important is to tell you how my life has changed. I think the first time I really noticed my life was different is when my godkids came to visit. And I took them for a walk. And I thought, man, every other time they came, we went to dinner. This time we went on a walk. And it was really
good.
Fun. My godson loves flowers. It was magical to see him doing something he really loves and be part of that. My body's changed a lot. And I think I'm still catching up with how much it's changed.
By the way, guys, the pandemic really did a number on her. Did a number on a lot of people, but she's an extrovert. And when she was stuck in her house, and remember that really bad ice storm that Texas had, like close to the pandemic, when that, when we were all on lockdown, really did a number on her because she's an extrovert. And she was just not doing well then. I think she drank a lot. I think she ate a lot. I mean, if you look at the videos back in like 2017, 2018, as opposed to 2021, you will see a very rapid difference in her body.
but I just see these like little doors open, and I'm seeing them open, but I never punished myself. I've never restricted
You shouldn't
myself.
punish.
I've never been unkind to myself in this process. And I think there is a way to get to your healthiest version of yourself without being mean to yourself.
Okay. Yep.
That you can love yourself through this change and you can still enjoy life through change. But that doesn't happen unless you find the right provider and you find
the right medication,
the right healthcare team to help you do it. And
bariatric team.
I chose to do this video today because I really passionately believe that.
And she's sponsored.
And I know some of you will look at this and go, oh, it's a sponsored video. And it is sponsored. I'm not going to lie to you about that.
But what does Novo Nordisk sell? That's never mentioned here.
I did this video because I fervently believe that this is what we need.
Yeah?
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not opposed to this at all. So, preach, girl.
I can't change your life, but you can change your life. I guess my final thought for this is often with these types of videos, people spend a really long time talking about all the things they've lost, all the weight, all the inches and stuff. And I don't want you to take that away from this video because I don't think that's why I did this initially.
It should have been.
I did this because of all the things I wanted to gain. I wanted my freedom back.
Yeah.
I wanted my
Agreed.
back.
Agreed.
And I wanted opportunities back. And as I'm seeing those come back into my life, I have absolutely no regrets.
No regrets.
I also know that my choices are my choices. And I made the choices that were best for the life I want to live.
Good.
And I also believe initiatives like this, like the Inclusive Obesity Care Initiative, also empower others to make the best choices for them. Mm-hmm. Health is not simple. It's not one size fits all. And it's about time that plus size people started getting the care they deserve.
Yes.
In a way that's compassionate.
Agreed.
And just kind.
Agreed.
With that, guys, I'm going to end up this video. I am crying in a hotel room in Finland. That's not where I expected to be today, but it's where we are. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll check you later. And peace.
So, yes, visit. Let's just give this the time it deserves. It's biggerthan.com. Okay. You know what? Let's take a peek at that. Okay. So, let's see. Become an ally for inclusive obesity care. I don't know. Let's see how. All right. Obesity is a chronic but treatable disease, but people living with obesity, there's more to managing it than we can see. With approximately 2 out of 5 adults in the United States living with obesity, it's important that they feel seen and heard when seeking help from a healthcare provider. But sometimes the fear of being judged may stop many from doing so. That's why we're on a mission to reduce bias and stigma for people living with obesity. Okay? We created a digital symbol you could download to share online by adding to your social channels or in person by printing it at home and displaying it in your waiting room or place of business. Here we go. Disclaimer. Displaying this symbol indicates a show of support for this initiative, but does not indicate a direct relationship or an endorsement by Novo Nordisk. In other words, you put this in there, Novo Nordisk didn't give their seal of approval, but I guarantee you that doctor will prescribe the drugs. And you know what, guys? I seem like I'm coming off with snark, but seriously, do what you got to do. Well, all right, folks, that is all I had for you today. I might be back later if Amberlyn Reed posts. So we'll see, but I wanted to give you guys my opinion on Anna and her weight loss journey and compare that to what I've dealt with in my life. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye.